Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how to record production and print nutrition labels using the production workspace. Your production workspace tells you what to make when. We forecast how many of each item to produce for the day and the hour that items should be prepared and put on the shelf. Let's assume your login type is location user. Once you log in, you'll be in your store. If you're using the production workspace, your store will have workflows. Workflows direct you to the correct place and have instructions for you to follow. To see the instructions, click the down arrow. From your workflow, go ahead and select Production Workspace. You'll note that when you do that, your instructions clear, but you can bring them back by selecting the down arrow. And then if you did that and wanted to remove them, there'll be an up arrow that you can select. The production workspace is divided into day parts that are unique to your account. Here we have bakery, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night. When you first log into the workspace, you'll automatically enter the day part for the time that you're in. So it's around 8 o'clock where I am, so I'm entering into the breakfast day part. You can move to other day parts by selecting the day part, which we're going to go ahead and do and select. Let's move to dinner. Okay, so select dinner. Okay. You may have two types of cards in your account, green cards and orange cards. Not all accounts have the green cards, but all accounts will have the orange cards. The green cards show you ingredients that you need to prep, and they're for viewing only. You can't take any action against these cards. The target is the number of ingredients that you'll need to prepare in order to make the products that are forecasted. For example, the workspace here is telling you that at 2:30, you need to make 18 chicken tenders and 66 chicken wings. You need to prep those in order to make the products that we're forecasting at 3 p.m. So the 3-piece chicken tenders, the 6-piece barbecue, and 6-piece hot wings. Okay. Once again, I just want to say again that not all accounts are set up to view the ingredient prep. If you don't see the green cards, it's just because you're not using this feature in Supply It. Everyone will have the orange cards, and these cards show you the products that you need to make and the times that you need to make them. The targets are your forecast, and you'll track production using either the plus, minus, and all buttons. And you'll see plus, minus, and all buttons for products that don't receive nutrition labels, products such as roller grill and bakery, or you'll track production using the print button. If you don't print nutrition labels in Supply It, all of your products will have plus, minus, and all buttons. Okay, let's go ahead and go back into your breakfast day part to take a look at how the workspace is set up. So I'm selecting breakfast. Okay, and here are the products that you're forecasted to make and the times that you need to make them. Okay, you've got all of your breakfast products at 5, 7, and 9 a.m., as well as some prep ingredients that you'll need to prepare at 10:30 for what is forecasted to be made at lunchtime at 11. And you're simply going to follow the times on the plan to know when and how many of each item to produce. So let's look at an example. Let's look at the burrito, sausage, egg, and cheese. Okay, what the plan is telling you is that at 5 a.m. you need to make 13 of the sausage, egg, and cheese burritos. At 7 a.m. you need to make 8, and at 9 a.m. you need to make 5. Note that some products cross day parts. For example, the pizza I know is in the lunch, dinner, and late night day parts. This is because you should make pizza starting at lunch and then throughout the remainder of the day. Let's take a look. Let's go to lunch and let's look for that pepperoni pizza. Okay, so what the plan is saying that at 11 o'clock you need to make 7 pepperoni pizzas. And then at 1 o'clock, you need to make 4 pepperoni pizzas. And that would be for the lunch crowd. Then you come over to the dinner day part, and you'll also see that there is pizza that you need to make at 3 o'clock. You need to make 6 pizzas. At 5 o'clock, you need to make 8. And at 7 o'clock, you need to make 4. And that's for the folks coming in later in the afternoon. As I mentioned, you can track production for products that are not labeled, or you can print nutrition labels for labeled products. Printing labels automatically tracks your production for those items. Non-labeled items have a target, your forecast, and the plus, minus, and all buttons. So let's find an example of non-labeled products, which would be all of your roll of row. Remove that. Okay, and so what this is telling you is that your forecast is for 27 hot dogs, and this is at 3 o'clock. Because these items don't receive a nutrition label, you've got plus, minus, and all buttons. So let's assume we're going to make all 27 hot dogs at 3 o'clock. Okay, you would simply select the all button. Okay, you'll see your forecast and your produced now match. You'll also note that your card is shaded or ghosted out, and that indicates that production has been met. You can continue to produce. You can go over that, or you can, if you've made a mistake, you can bring that back down and you see it becomes unghosted. But once you meet your target, this card will be shaded. Again, you can keep producing. If there's more demand, definitely keep producing, but your target has been met. If in your account, you don't, after you meet your production, this card disappears instead of being shaded, you can bring, it's because your account is set up to do that. In your preferences. So if that happens, over here where it says hide completed, this will say show completed. Just select that and it'll bring your card back onto the plan, and you can also continue to track production. Okay, let's look at one more. Let's look at the chicken and cheese tornado. Oh, my mouse just lost. Okay, there we go. The chicken and cheese tornado. Let's say that we're going to produce, let's say we're going to produce 5 of those. Okay, you just use your plus button and you go ahead and select 5. Again, if you made a mistake, bring it down, keep going. You'll notice that until you meet your targeted production or your forecast, this card is going to stay brighter. Okay. Okay, and unlike your non-labeled products with the plus, minus, and all buttons, for your labeled products, you'll simply have a print button. For all printed items, you will select the print button, and then you use the plus and minus buttons to increase or decrease the amount to print. Or you can print all labels, and if you want to print all labels, you just let it default. You select next and print. You can always print and produce more than targeted. Just use your plus button. But let's go look at some examples of that. Let's look at the lunch. Let's look at the sandwich category in lunch. Sandwiches at 11 a.m. that we need to make. Let's go ahead and let's say we're going to produce all of these roast beef and cheese subs. So select print, and you'll see here's your target. And you see your target is defaulting to the print. So if you want to print all of them, which we do, we're going to let that default. We're going to just say print all 6 labels, next, print, and done. Let's take a look at that. You see your target meets your production, your card is ghosted. The same thing would happen if your account is set up to remove those cards. Like we talked about with the roller grill, once you reach production, some accounts, these cards disappear. You would come over here and hit show completed, and then you could continue to track production if you needed to print more. Okay, so let's look at the turkey and cheese sub, and let's say we're not going to produce all, but we're going to only produce 5 at the moment. So go ahead and select print. You see here that your target defaults again, just like it did for the roast beef sub, but we only want to print 5 of those labels. So let's bring that down to 5. Okay, select next, print, and done. Okay, so you still have your target of 9. You've printed 5. Oh, let's assume, wait, we need 2 more. Let's go ahead in. Okay, and I just wanted to point this out. Your target was 9, you've printed 5, so you can see in the remaining it's 4. Okay, and that 4 is now defaulting. That's what's left to print, so that's now the default. But we only want to print 2, so let's go ahead and take that down to 2. Next, print, thinking, and done. Okay. Okay, so now your target is still 9. That's never going to change, but you've printed 7. Okay. Let's just say we want to print more than 9. So say the target's 9, but we want to produce 10. Then we're going to print 3, print, and done. And you can see your target remains 9, but we've printed 10. Okay, other things you need to know about the workspace. You can navigate through the time periods by selecting a time. Okay, for example, in the breakfast day part, you can see the times over here on the right-hand side of your screen, and they're 5, 7, and 9 a.m. And say we want to just look at what we need to produce at 7, select the 7 a.m. time slot. Sorry, my mouse just disconnected again. And you'll see that you're brought right to the 7 a.m. What we need to produce at 7 a.m. You can use the product search bar to add any products that are not on the workspace. So go ahead and select the search bar. Let's say we are no longer selling the croissant, the bacon, egg, and cheese, and it's not on the plan. We're like deleting inventory for a product that's been discontinued, but we're still making it until our inventory is gone. Go ahead and select that croissant. You'll see here, this is a labeled product, so it says print. If this was a non-labeled product, it would just say add. And you'll also see here, whatever time you're adding this adding or printing, it's telling you right here what time slot that's going into. So whatever time it is where you are, that's what time that's going into. So select print, and you're going to get the same screen, print, and you have now added that product using the search bar because you couldn't find it on your workspace. Finally, and done. Okay, you can filter by categories if you want to limit the day parts that you're seeing. You'll go ahead over here and select filter and categories. Let's say we only want to see the pizza. So select pizza and apply. Okay, and you're going to just see the day parts and the pizza items. So you can flip through and all you see is pizza. Okay. That's using the filter. Remember, if you've set the filter, you're going to need to unset it. Otherwise, it does hold. So go back into filter and unselect pizza and apply. Okay. If a label is damaged when printing, any labeled product is going to have 3 dots next to it. Let me just point this out though. Like, see how we haven't printed any of these hot wings? You have your reprint label, but you can't do anything with it. It's just for show because you've not printed any labels in the first place. But let's go back to lunch where we did print the sub-labels, and you'll see how that's bold, and you can select this and reprint the label. Reprinting labels will not increase your production. Note that if you have a paper jam or you run out of paper, you do not need to reprint. Just fix the issue, unpause the printer, and any items in queue will automatically print. Okay. If you've printed too many labels, in other words, you're going to produce less than you've printed, simply come over here and toggle off this printing button. Okay. Once you do that, you can see that even for the printed items, you now have the plus, minus, and all button. So say we made a mistake on the sub and the turkey and cheese, and we want to go ahead and decrease that the printed item by 1. So we need to go ahead and let's see, some of my connections, sorry. Go ahead, the printer is toggled off. We just use the down arrow, take it down by 1, and then put the toggle the printing back on, and you can see that our printed item has gone down to 9. Always remember to go back and turn the toggle button back on. You'll also toggle printing off if your printer is broken or if you have connectivity issues. Turn off and track production manually for all products, including label printed items. Remember to turn printing back on once you're back up and running. We've covered how to record production and print nutrition labels using the production workspace. Thanks for listening.